Jazz music has become one of the most influential musical genres in America today, and over the last century. It did not become just by accident. It all came together in the giant melting pot we call New Orleans. It is the musical gumbo of four other genres: ragtime, gospel, marching band, and blues. What do you get when you mix them all together? Jazz. Each of these four genres have a person that represents them. A person who mastered their craft. We're going to introduce you to these people. Over the next 5 minutes, we're going to blow your mind with a historical walkthrough of how jazz became what it is. To give you an idea of what jazz has become, let's begin with It's a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, the face of jazz.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
You enjoyed that rendition of What a Wonderful World. Now, let's take a step back. Ragtime, our first ingredient in the musical gumbo called jazz, was famous for its highly syncopated rhythms on the piano. The syncopation was a new trend for the American music scene. The sound originated in Missouri when the father of ragtime, Scott Joplin, moved to St. Louis. The ragtime sound exploded as the popularity overwhelmed the Midwest. It began to spread east into a bigger market. Why? Here's Scott Joplin himself. What a coincidence. Let's have a talk. Hello, boys and girls. Wow, Scott, that is quite some sound you got there. Tell me, how'd you come up with this ragtime sound?
Well, you see, in Texas, I used to fiddle around with my piano, but then when I moved to St. Louis, I started this sound called Maple Leaf Rag. Wow, that sound really took off.
That is quite some story, Scott.
Wow, what a great opportunity we had to learn ragtime from the one and only father of ragtime, Scott Joplin. Next in store, the blues. The blues began to surface in the mid to late 1800s. It was a type of music to make your hurting soul hurt just a little bit less. It originated among slaves on southern plantations and with their descendants. Because of their role in society at that time, their musical works followed them to their grave, unshared to society. At the turn of the century is when the bluesy sound exploded. W.C. Handy released the Memphis Blues, the first recorded blues work. A not-so-nice song about a political candidate. Handy, is that you? In the flesh? What up, man?
I am and always will be a blues man.
Handy, the blues. It's all about the feelings, the sorrows, and the triumphs in your life. Tell us a little bit about how you conveyed that in a style.
You know what? How about I show you?
That sounds good. Wow, I can feel your blues.
You see, Will, that's the point. It's about how you feel inside, your story, your soul. See, my soul just happens to be blue.
W.C. Handy, what a man. I feel better already. Those blues are like vitamins to my soul. Now our melting pot is halfway filled. Let's find some spirit, maybe a little bit of gospel. There has been no other musical influence in history that has been more uplifting than gospel. Through the great times and the bad times, right before the turn of the 20th century, Thomas Andrew Dorsey came into this world, and who knew he would change gospel music forever? And Barrelhouse Tom was also a reverend. Growing up in a family of sharecroppers, he wanted to give the believers of God a way to express their praise through music, something past the restrictions presented by typical secular music. So what was born? Gospel music, all thanks to Tom Dorsey. Jeez, we are getting lucky today. Here Dorsey is. Lucky we ran into you, Barrelhouse Tom. Give us some spirit.
I sure will give you some spirit.
Thomas, tell us how you broke down these secular barriers to create this new form of praising God called gospel music.
You know, it truly is from the Word of God. I just took that bluesy sound, put a little of my soul in it, and that's how I convey the message of God now in this style called gospel. Let me show you some.
Precious Lord, take my hand. Precious Lord.
Wow, that's some tear-jerking stuff right there. Inspiring. On to the last but not least ingredient, jazz, the marching band. It flourished in the Civil War. Music and the sound of drums in marching bands brought patriotism, united soldiers, and helped win battles. A corps commander, Samuel Hartman, used this tactic to save a battle. He was quoted saying, "Play, play," during the middle of battles. He later became an icon for marching bands in America. Also, later, one of his soldiers accounted that the music, in fact, helped inspire them to win battles. As the Civil War ended, because of the patriotism, marching bands became a key part of society at colleges, football games, and the music scene. Wow, what's that sound? I believe that's Mr. Heitzelman himself. Wow, what a beat. Mr. Heitzelman, can you explain the effect this music has on your soldiers during battle?
I really couldn't explain it to you through words, but this music really did give the soldiers the extra boost they needed to get through war.
Nice. Did you ever think that marching band would have such a profound effect on American culture?
You know, I really was just focused on helping these soldiers fight for their lives and freedoms in the war, but it was really just an added bonus that it influenced so many lives in such a positive way. Here, I'll play you some.